14. Again, except for at a relay meet like this is not an often run event outdoors for the collegians. So a fun opportunity for athletes and coaches to put this together and see what they can do.
Again, many of these athletes, we've seen them earlier on in individual events, in rounds. This is a long day for them, a long weekend here at the Drake Relays, but your job is to rise to every occasion. I keep saying, no one cares that you're tired, no one cares that you're cold. Get out there and represent your team and do your job.
The pack close together now. Minnesota riding on the shoulder of our leader. South Dakota State up among the leaders as well, but really everyone right together there.
No one man has exerted himself out ahead of all the others. There's still a tightly bunched pack, but something tells me this vice is going to tighten, this pace is going to quicken, especially in this closing first lap.
Minnesota to the outside, challenging now, taking the lead.
Less than 220 meters in this opening leg here.
Minnesota, our leader, beginning to stretch it out, and that pack now thinning, with Minnesota pushing the pace. Wisconsin now coming up in for second, so it's Minnesota, Wisconsin, Eastern Michigan way on the outside.
Mitch Heschel giving it to Shane Stretch, the freshman, taking that lead in leg number 2.
Right around 151 or just a tick under there for Minnesota. Wisconsin, Illinois running second and third right now. Minnesota trying to pull away.
Air Force in that fourth spot running Zach Petrie on this leg. They had a good opener from Caswell. Iowa running
Continues with Minnesota out in front.
Comfortable lead for Minnesota. A good 20 meters or about 50 meters now ahead of the next man.
Wisconsin trying to close. Illinois giving him some energy from behind as well.
Illinois 8th in this event in 2015, desperately digging for an upgrade. Here, right now, they sit in 3rd position.
Minnesota, Air Force now into 3rd ahead of Illinois. Air Force challenging and taking 2nd from Wisconsin. Can Air Force go all the way up and challenge Minnesota in the lead?
Minnesota still looking comfortable taking this last turn in leg number 2, but here we go.
Minnesota out in front. Air Force running second. Minnesota and the Air Force Academy.
It's Matt Dorsey for Air Force giving chase, trying to get there.
Minnesota with just enough to surge and keep the lead. Minnesota. Air Force. They're 1-2, but look at this group now coming up. Things changing rapidly in that pack behind our leaders, Minnesota. Iowa among the challengers there.
Derek Whipke for Minnesota in first place on this 3rd leg.
The Panthers are running column black on this leg. It's the Golden Gophers, the Hawkeyes, and the Panthers. Then the Illini and Air Force.
So now it's Minnesota and Iowa. They'll be coming across. Northern Iowa, the Illini, Air Force. The next 3. Iowa challenging, taking the lead from Minnesota. Changing of the guard up front, Perdita. Minnesota looked to be well in control in the early going here on this leg.
Didn't think I was going to see that, but here you see down this backstretch, changing of the guard, you're right.
We'll see if that reverses itself, if Minnesota's going to make a bid to get that lead back as we surge in toward this handoff.
It's a battle for third position. Illinois in fourth. Going to have to move it if they want to be in bronze medal position at least.
Minnesota out to the shoulder now of Iowa. Minnesota will get the advantage. Northern Iowa now coming up. Minnesota, Iowa, Northern Iowa, Illinois. Right down 151 or just a little above or below for those two runners out in front. Minnesota now with the firepower out in front of Iowa. Illinois trying desperately to get up into that lead pack. Northern Iowa unable to keep up in that pace because Illinois is really turning it on. Donor Dang of Minnesota. But check out Illinois. They've come from a distant third to make a challenge here with 1 lap to go. They crossed at about 6:27.
Illinois came from way back to challenge. What an awesome leg we're witnessing right now. It's going to come down to this backstretch. Again, wind negligible, not a factor here. They're going to try and collect energy, coast, and save just a little bit of punch, a little bit of kick in their legs for the fight down the backstretch, the home stretch.
Dang of Minnesota had such a lead. It was a valiant effort by Illinois. Illinois may be running the fastest split on this anchor leg, but he is not going to have enough to come from that far back to overtake an outstanding runner like Dang.
Not at all, but considering they were 8th last year, which I call being in the back, they're going to be happy with at least getting on the podium, which looks like silver is within their grasp.
Terrific race here. Minnesota, arms raised. Sub 150 on the anchor. Illinois and then Air Force, our top three.